Welcome. I'm the DeadwoodJedi, and we're doing another Raid Shadow Legends video. This is yet another count takeover, another clan boss speed tune we're doing for Kev Gott over here. I'm very happy to be in this count. Guy's super awesome. He was doing well already. He was already doing really good job with clan boss. He was doing just under a 2 key damage wise on Ultra Nightmare, 1 key or so on Nightmare. He was having a really great time, but he looked at his count and he thought, he thinks he can do like a 1 key or like a really good 2 key on Ultra Nightmare. He has the champions for it. And so he asked me if I could build him an Unkillable comp that can do some work, one of those 2-1 type of compositions. So I thought, well, let's try it out. Let's see what we can't do. And I think you're going to find we were pretty darn successful doing this. Now, just giving you an idea of what is in this account, he's got a bunch of champions, like really good. You can see Valkyrie, Mashal, Duchess, Draco, Septimus, Bad L, Tower. He's really got a bunch of them. And so we took a look. Even got some more involved. Elenarl. He's got champions galore. That wasn't going to be the issue. The issue is going to be, how do we want to gear them up? What kind of team do we want to do? And do we have the gear to make it not only get to the speeds we need, but make it work? Now, for when you're trying to get to like 1 key damage or crazy 2 key damage, you need to go in with a 2-1 ratio. Like, that's really the best way to do it. You can definitely build a traditional team and get there. It's just exceedingly hard. And I don't think that we quite had the composition of champions to really do that. So we went with an Unkillable team, and so we're going to go with the 2-1 ratio. The 2 easiest ones, especially for this type of thing, are going to be a Mashald composition or a Seeker composition. So either Batman or Mashald White Whale. Those are really the 2 options that you have in front of you. So I was looking at it, and we have a Seeker, so we could have gone with that. We also have a Mashald. I ended up going with the Mashald composition, and the reason is the speed requirements are considerably lower than with the Seeker one. Now, the Seeker one is great, and it's very stable. It makes it pretty easy to gear a lot of this stuff up. You can do things like put in Relentless gear. There's lots of little things you can do to really maximize your damage with that, but the slowest speed you can have for that kind of a build is 220. The highest speed is like 268, I think, is the fast champion for that. So the requirements are a little bit more difficult to meet. With Mashald, however, the fastest champions are 250. The slowest champion all the way down at like 186, 190. Pretty slow in general. So you have a lot more leeway as far as finding the gear to get these champions at the speed. So we went with Mashald. We were going to go, looking at it, he said, Void's cool, don't worry about affinity. So we went ahead, took the Tower, we took Warcaster. We're going to have each of them alternating their Unkillable buffs so that we cannot be killed. We have Mashald. He's going to be doing some real serious work damage-wise. Right there, we're going to bring in Septimus for both debuff extensions as well as raw damage, because that is something he can do. And then very last, we're going to bring in Draco for all the debuffs and the raw damage on top of that. Now, when you're doing an Unkillable team like this, you can really just maximize the damage. You don't have to worry about defense. You don't have to worry about HP. Makes gearing a lot easier. Now, this is not perfect by any means. There's still room to roll some of this stuff up and really perfect it. We only got the 85% crit rate. We get the 100%. That's a lot more damage. 228 crit damage. We can definitely do more than that. But you can see almost 4,000 defense right there is really, really good. So that's the build here. Just real quick, show you the Masteries. We pretty much went defensive build. This was already built, so I didn't bother changing it. But normally I would come down this route. But this is fine for us. It's not going to be a problem. Taking this ability, Deterrence, is actually really good. It gives us a chance to counterattack on the stun from Septimus. We definitely want Retribution. So, well, I mean, Retribution doesn't really matter now that I think about it, because we're going to be blocking the damage, so it's not like we're losing any HP. Generally coming down here, you will see on everybody else we have Heart of Glory to give us a little bit more damage, as we are going to be full health, but I didn't really feel it was necessary to reset his stuff. You can see Mashald, we're going kind of the same thing. We are Heart of Glory all the way down to Warmaster, and then we are taking that defensive tree. I don't know, somewhere here I can show you guys. We do take it all the way down here to Deterrence, so we can get a little bit of extra counterattack. And you're going to see this is going to be the same exact thing we're doing with Septimus here. with Draco, it's pretty much the same thing. We did not take deterrence. We came over here and took kill streak. Not worth resetting, quite frankly. And tower, we're going to be doing the same exact thing. So you can see it's a pretty simple, very defensive build. We can obviously take the support tree. That's totally fine if you wanted to do that for some of these champions, but I just don't feel like it's necessary. So let me go ahead. We're going to go ahead and do this clan boss run. You guys can see how this works, and I'll talk a little bit about it just in the beginning as far as the setup goes, and then I'll talk a little bit about the end, about like different ways that you can use this unique comp and the way it's built for your teams with different variations on this. All right, guys. Now, this is a very simple setup. All we need to do is wait one turn for Mashal to use the speed up buff. We can go ahead and use Warcaster's Unkillable right from the get-go. And we're going to wait one turn for Tower to use their Unkillable. And pretty much after that, it's auto. I like to get things a little bit set up, just kind of how I like to work. So we're going to kind of manual just through this turn right here. And then we should be in good shape. All right. Just use A1s there, and we're going to drop the Unkillable from Tower right there, and we can click auto, and at this point we're good to go. Now there will be a couple points we're going to lose a little bit of damage in the beginning. You can see Tower actually healed up there with that attack, and other than that, we're in pretty good shape. You can see the kind of damage we're doing with these champions when we do crit. 148k from Draco. We're going to do 300k or even more from Septimus with his big A2 hit. Lashald's going to be doing over 100k with his A3 ability. So this is a team that can do considerable amount of damage. Now, the negative of this comp is it's not affinity friendly at all. It really won't work very well against Void. Against non-Void champions, affinity clan bosses, I should say. Against Void, this works great. But when you start facing affinity clan bosses, you're definitely going to be running yourself into trouble. So from this point on, we are fully unkillable. We won't be taking any more damage. That last stun was the last one where somebody is vulnerable. If we did take this against affinity clan bosses, obviously against the green clan boss it won't work because the speed reduction is going to screw us up. But against blue and against red, we can bring in, instead of, say, Septimus, we can bring a weak affinity champion in that lead spot to take the stun for us. So against a red affinity, actually, we could leave Draco. Draco could go ahead and take that stun if we're comfortable with that. And against blue affinity, Septimus would be perfect position to take that stun as well. So either case, we can do it with these exact champions. It's just when we face the green affinity clan boss that this won't work. An interesting side note, though, you can bring in any two champions that are on 4-3 ratios, have 4-turn cooldowns on their skills, in place of Warcaster and Tower. In fact, you could bring in two Santas if you wanted. You could bring in two Towers if you'd like as well. You could use a Santa and or Sir Nicholas, as he's called, and a Warcaster in that spot. And that would work just fine. The only issue, of course, is Santa his auto mechanics are pretty terrible, so you'd have to figure out how to make him work auto-wise or be very comfortable manualing that run. I'm not even sure how to make his mechanics work on auto, so you can come to me for help, but I probably won't be able to help you with that. If I ever figure that out, I'll do a video on it so you guys can see, and we can clear that up for everybody. But yeah, this is a pretty good composition. We do definitely do 2 key damage. The exact amount, I'm honestly not sure at this point, so I'm kind of curious to see how well this run does. I'll go ahead and stop talking and let the music play. And there it is, guys. 57 million damage. Pretty solid. We got 24 from Draco, 12 from Septimus, 10 from Mashald. 4 and 5 from Warcaster and Roshkard. It's pretty solid damage. I'm pretty happy with this run. Full 50 turns, clearly 2 key, so no worries on that. Now the only thing that I would maybe consider doing, you could bring in Bad El'Khazar, and then you could take the accuracy off Mashald. That would actually pretty much increase a fair amount of damage just by having those debuffs up. You do lose that 12 million from Septimus, but you might make that up with Bad El'Khazar. You can build him up to do a fair amount of damage himself, and then everyone will do more damage from the poison buffs that he brings in as well. So definitely some options there as far as ways that you can build this out and use these champions. I mean, being unkillable in and of itself is pretty remarkable. So that's a pretty good build, I say. Other things that you can do with this composition. This is something where you want to use the mechanics of the game and the mechanics of this build to your advantage. So why does this work? We're on a 2-1 ratio. That means we're taking 2 turns, then the clan boss takes a turn, then we take 2 turns again, and we do that throughout the fight. So that means every cooldown that's divisible by 2, we can regularly schedule. So does this work with 2 towers? Absolutely, because their skills are on 4-turn cooldowns. Here's another way. Do you want to block the debuffs and have it be completely affinity friendly? Bring in Sepulchre Sentinel, bring in Duchess. Both of their block debuff abilities are on 4-turn cooldowns. So you bring them in, and all of a sudden you're blocking the debuffs every turn. No, you're not unkillable, but it's an alternative way to go about it. This is why with the Mashal build, you can bring in 2 Man-Eaters and a Painkeeper and keep it unkillable. The Painkeepers reduce the cooldowns from the Man-Eaters, Ancient Blood, the unkillable ability, from 5 turns to 4 turns. And so because it goes down to 4 turns, you're able to have it be regular. And by having it be regular, you're able to tune your team. I mean, the definition of a speed tune is having your skills and abilities happen at a regular and reliable point over and over and over again. And that's what we can do with this ability. Because we know everybody's taking 2 turns between every turn of the clan boss, between each clan boss attack, we can really tune this team. And that's what makes it so fun to do. Not to mention it looks amazing. You're getting way more damage because you're getting a whole extra attack in every single round. It's very effective. But being able to do it with Unkillable is really great because you get all these extra turns. Your Poisoners are putting out all that massive amount of damage. And then when you have Poisoners like Draco, when you have champions like Mashald or Septimus in there, they're really going to extend the duration of those poisons. And they're going to do incredible amounts of damage being able to take so many attacks over and over again. There's a million ways to build these Mashald builds. This is one of the more traditional ones if you're looking for an unkillable team. It's pretty easy to do. You do need a tower, and you do need a Warcaster. Outside of that, that's pretty much it. And you can use it with a Seeker and just go really fast speeds, or you can do it with Mashald and stay pretty regular. So lots of options as far as this goes, guys. The builds are on the website, so if you're looking for the speeds, you want to do something like this, you should be able to find that there. And obviously, you can use this video as a template and a guide. But I'm always excited to see, how are you guys building these things? What do you think that's outside of the box that you can bring in other champions 4-turn cooldowns that can work with this? I mean, we get a lot of people. We have a whole theory crafting channel in my Discord. That's a perfect place to go and discuss this stuff. I'm not always on there because I'm working on my own things a lot of times, but I like to pay attention to that because there's a lot of hidden nuggets in that from the community, and that's always amazing to see. There's a lot of tunes that I've come up with, or that I put up on my website that I didn't come up with, that you guys came up with and brought to me. So I definitely encourage you guys to continue thinking about that, think outside the box, find different ways to make these tunes work for you. It is always a pleasure talking to you. I really cannot wait for the next time. This is a fun little video to do. I love doing these. Come check me out on Twitch. I'm building these on there, guys. It's a fun way to kind of see what I'm working on, what's coming next in the meta, what's coming next in the game, other ways you can use your champions. So it's been it's a lot of fun. Hopefully I see you guys there. Look, till next we meet, I'm the Deadwood Jedi.